Hello and welcome back to the Daily Driver series. This is another installment and we're going to be talking about tools and what things you can or can't live without. Alright, so for me there are just a few tools that you have to actually get stuff done around your driveway, working on cars and that type of such. But for the most part, you're going to want just a ratchet tool set. Maybe some ratchets and some open-ended box end style normal wrenches. And you don't want to really go and break the bank. You don't need to go Matco, Cornwall, any of that type of stuff. Go out, find the cheapest imported set you can find. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to complete everything you need to with just that one cheap set. Now, if you're going to evolve into more professional, you'll want to upgrade your tools. But from what I do, just get the cheap stuff, and if you break something or consistently keep breaking the same items, then go up to a slightly better set for that one item. So like, I still have plenty of these. These are the old imported. This I think is a Walmart special. I've been putting pipes on this wrench and breaking bolts, and so far it has not given up. It's of course is a bigger one, but I've really only broken the 1/4 inch stuff. So the little tiny ratchet, I've split them apart, but I've broken Craftsman ones of those, so that's kind of more my guerrilla tendencies than it is the tool. But for a lot of that, just go with the cheap stuff. You can get more tools for your dollar, and you'd probably be better off to have a wider range of different lengths of wrenches than you are to have a really expensive one. So before you spend $100 on a wrench set, pop on over to the Hilbler Freight there and get yourself 3 of everything. So yeah, next thing, and you'll see me using this a lot, is the angle grinder. I use the crap out of these. I average 1 every 2 years, just with the amount of work that I put through them. This one here is a Black & Decker, but the majority of the ones that I use are just those $14.99 ones from the box stores. Real cheap. They last a couple of years with the way I run through them. Usually its bearings go out and they self-destruct, so your brushes don't go out. Those are pretty beefy. The last little one that I had, the gearbox started going out on. It started having a little more slack in there. But that was going on about 3 years, and that's seen a lot of wood dust. But this all around is a very handy thing to have, even with woodworking. I've done a lot of 3-dimensional, I don't know, I guess you can call it carving with an angle grinder and a flap wheel. So you can get pretty creative with this. And then essentially the other thing that you should have in your toolbox is just a pair of these long-handled tin snips. I don't like the hinged ones. Those kind of behave a little funky. But the reason why you want to have these is you can take a piece of steel, cut that off, then you can turn around, grab a piece of cardboard, make yourself a template, and then you can swing back by a thin piece of paper, make a few more things, and then swing back and cut some thick steel again. They're all around the most useful thing that I've found. They work great for cutting upholstery, So even cutting carpet when you put it in a car, doing vinyl, leather, they pretty much will cut anything you put in the jaws. So that's a very handy thing to have. And that's pretty much it. I essentially got started doing all the work that I did with just a simple, tiny little toolkit. I actually tore apart that blue pickup truck that you see every so often outside the shop here. I tore that completely apart, engine torn down, pretty much everything you need for the majority of what you do was just in one of those simple little $7.99 ratchet sets. Now when it came to rebuilding it, I had to get a couple specialty things because you got the specialty hub nuts and that type of stuff. But 90% of any vehicle can pretty much be dumped on the front of your lawn just with the use of a $7.99 ratchet set. So occasionally you'll have to keep an eye out for things like the Crossfire that actually has a reverse Torx. So it's got the weird point thing. I'll go grab that here. Alright, so these are what I was talking about here. They're reverse Torx. You can pick them up anywhere. This is probably $5-10, but that's great for things like the Crossfire, Mercedes. They like to use these things. Don't know why. Maybe they just felt they wanted to be special and not use the hex head bolts like every other thing in the planet. But that's the majority of it. So you really don't need much of anything to get started doing a lot of your own repairs. I've heard plenty of people go, yeah, I fixed this or that, but I don't have the tools and I'll just bring it to someone else and spend the $500. And little they know that everything that they really need could probably be picked up for under $50. So it's not too high of a bar to get into doing this stuff, and then slowly over time you'll just continually accumulate other stuff as you need it. You'll have like some sort of brake thing. You'll go pick that up for $5. If it's something really, really spendy, I like using the rent-a-tool at your AutoZones and that type of thing. That comes in pretty handy when you just need a one-time use of a $100 item. So that would be your weird little brake tools. You can rent those, then bring them back. Tie rod separators. I actually own a few of those because I do enough tie rod stuff that it's worthwhile for me. And most of the time when I do or have to do tie rod stuff, it's in the parking lot somewhere in the dark and everything's closed. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And as you can see with a lot of the stuff that I do, you don't even need the garage like what I have here. It makes it a lot nicer for seasonal things because right now it's colder than blazes out, but I'm in here in a t-shirt. So that's really the only benefit you have with having a garage is just the climate control. Out in the driveway you can do whatever you want. I've proven that with swapping out the Crossfire, not the Crossfire, the engine in the Tiburon. I did that all in a gravel driveway, and then the Raider was 100% built on a gravel driveway. I didn't have a garage at that time, but I tore out all the undercarriage, replaced the engine, the transfer case, transmission, the axles, welded it all together, all in a driveway. So that's how we roll around here, and thanks for stopping by, and hopefully you'll subscribe and stick around still longer. Anyways, I guess I will see you guys later.